All right, here it is. Flopping, the most caring in all of sports.
So tell me a little bit about how the idea of game theory came about. Now, is there like an audition process before you got the role?
The guys that had created the show, they had signed a pilot deal with HBO with somebody else attached to it. And something happened and that person was no longer working on the show. And they sent me the deck for the show, and the deck was very clearly intended for a comedian. And I read through it and I said, hey, the first thing I need to say is that I'm not a comedian. Like, I wasn't coming into this with the idea of I'm going to make you want me to do this, right? Like, it needed to be something that was going to be good for me. And so I said, look, I'm not a comedian, but I'm the perfect person for this show.
I guess being a Karen is not the exclusive territory of the white woman.
Your favorite athlete hits the ground like he got shot.
Even though nobody touched him?
He's doing the same thing.
See, what got interesting with HBO was this was shortly after they had agreed to bring me on to do the show with Bob Costas.
Mm-hmm.
And so on that show, I am bringing the perspective on sports. I'm bringing all this brain power and all of this stuff over there, right? So you imagine you're HBO and they're like, hey, super smart guy that can talk about the real issues in sports. Now you're telling me that you want him to replace the funny guy that we just had on here? That's understandably for HBO, they weren't sure. That was something for them. They're kind of like, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and they don't know my work as well. And so I thought it was perfectly fair. Like, I'm not one of those people that's offended by somebody doubting me. I doubt people all the time. It happens. It's not that big of a deal.
Now, did you consult with Dan or even John Oliver about the structure of the show or just for advice before you started producing?
I talked to John Oliver about advice. Not so much about the structure of the show, just kind of, what it is to host something like this. Like, I've never done anything like this. I was at my desk one day and somebody came in and like they knocked on the door and like, yo, can I come in? And then they came in and then they sat in the chair that was on the other side of my desk. I've never, ever sat at a desk in that way that like where the desk connotes authority, right? Like I'm on this side of the desk, you're on that side of the desk. Or somebody like being nervous to come in the office. This is all brand new to me. I've never been in this place. And so I just, I had questions just kind of like, really how to support the staff and like how to be the person that is overseeing all of this. And he was very helpful. I talked to Stephen Colbert about some things. He was also very helpful in figuring this out.